All right, players, today I'm going to go through recapping a round of golf. And the reason we recap a round of golf is to give ourselves kind of a game plan for our next few practice sessions. That's kind of the reason I do it. You go through your round, you think about the areas that cost you the most, and that can kind of help frame your practice sessions over the next, week, month, couple days, whatever, before the next round of golf. So I've got kind of two ways that I'm going to go about doing this. I'm going to go shot by shot. It's kind of a long video, but hopefully you learn a little bit about the way I approach course strategy as well. I kind of break my post-shot or post-round recap into kind of 4 or 5 areas. I do tee shots, approach shots, mid-range wedges, which for me is like any, sand wedge or lob wedge. That's like not a full one, but not quite a short game shot. So think 40 to 120 yards or so. So tee shots, approach shots, mid-range wedges, short game, and putting. And those are the categories I kind of go through my round and think about each of those so that I can find out which areas cost me the most shots. I'm also going to use one of Tiger's favorite methods. He had his five rules of thumb that if he was successful with, he basically won, I think, 98% of the tournaments where he achieved the numbers that he wants. And so Tiger's got like 5 rules for winning a tournament. And he would say, rule number 1, no 3 putts. Rule number 2, no double bogeys. Rule number 3, no bogeys on par 5s. Rule number 4, no bogeys with a 9-iron or less in your hand. And number 5 is no blown easy saves. And easy saves is kind of a tough one to quantify because what's easy for Tiger might not be what's easy for you. But, if you think you should get it up and down and you don't, that'd be one of those. And for Tiger's case, if he made 6 errors like that or less in a 72-hole event, he thought he would win. And I think, like I said, I think it's true like 98% of the time that when he did do exactly that, made 6 or less of those mistakes, he won almost every single event. So I'm not Tiger Woods, and I'm not competing against PGA Tour players. So for me, if I make, let's just say 2 of those, in Tiger's case, 6 of those mistakes in a 4-round event equals 1.5 per round. I would say if I can do just 2 or less per round, I'm probably should have a chance to win. And we'll see how that works out over this recap. So I played 27 holes yesterday. I shot 7 over. There wasn't much wind. We were playing the back tees. Greens were really fast. Pin positions were kind of tough, but so I was 7 over for 27 holes. And the winning score, there was only one person in this event that was 1 under par. So 1 under par won. So we'll just see how that works out after we go through it. Anyhow, I'll be using Google Earth and just kind of going through the round shot by shot. Might take a little while, but hopefully, like I said, hopefully you learn something. All right, so this is a shotgun event. I've got my sheet. Now, I usually do this in my head. I've got Tiger's thing, so every time I do something that is a mistake there, I'm going to mark it. And then any shot that I miss, I'm just going to make a little quick note about it. Like I said, I do this in my head normally, but just for the purposes of this video, I'm using a notepad. So I started off, let me pull up my shots here. Okay, started off, it was a shotgun start. I started on Vista 6, short par 4. You were right here. Pin was back left. I hit a hybrid. I was aiming at the front right corner. I hit hybrid, pulled it a hair. It was perfect. Hit it to like 12 feet, 12-footer for eagle, missed it, 2-putt, birdie. So good start. No shots lost yet. Number 7, I hit a hybrid again. I had left me with 142 from the fairway. The flag was in the front of the green. I hit a pitching wedge and just missed it a little bit. Actually chunked it a little bit. Felt good about it. Just a little bit heavy. Came up just short on the green. It was an easy save from right here. It was a little chip onto the green. Chipped it to like 3 feet. Made it par. No big deal. So far, so good. Sailing on through. Next hole, number 8, Vista, bombed a driver, hit it pretty good. I was in the fairway. I had 188 left to the hole, and this was my first mistake. I was 188. Flag was right here, just over the bunker. And this is one of the things I struggle with. I decided I thought I could get an 8-iron there. Looking back on it, I would, an 8-iron, it would have had to be absolutely murdered looking back on it. Stock 8-iron for me is about 185. It's 188. It's uphill and long is fine. So, I ended up not hitting a good one. I kind of chunked it because I was trying to kill it. I ended up in a terrible lie just short of this bunker to a tight flag. Had no chance. Sitting in kind of a sandy divot, and I chipped it long over here to like 60 feet and then 3-putted. So I made bogey from the middle of the fairway. So bogey to par 5, that's 1. I would say the approach shot really was the killer there. It was wrong club. No reason to hit an 8-iron there. So I'm just gonna make one note of that. So wrong club on the approach. From here, I didn't have very much. I couldn't really hit like a high flop shot out of that lie. And does it suck to 3-putt? Yes, that's a 3-putt too. Bam. So I 3-putted from 60 feet. I wouldn't call it a bad 3-putt. I mean, the greens were lightning fast. I rolled it down there to like 6 feet and missed it. What are you gonna do? I actually don't feel too bad about the 3-putt. I just feel bad about the terrible short-sided approach. Go to the next hole. Number 9 Vista, it's par 4. I was on the tee box. This was a mental error. I hit 3-wood, which I think is the play. It puts me right down in here. As I was teeing off, as I was taking it back, a plane kind of flew over my head, and I was thinking about whether I should stop the swing while I was swinging. I didn't. I hit it left, out of bounds. So huge error there. I should have backed off instead of thinking about the plane in the middle of my swing. But I did not, and hit my next shot down to the very end of the fairway. Pin was in the back right. From there, I hit from like 100 yards. I hit it just over to the back fringe. A little bit of a, didn't quite hit a perfect shot there, but hit it to the back fringe, like 20 feet past the hole. 2-putted for double bogey. So double bogey, already not doing good. And that was a tee shot. So tee shot. I'm gonna say 3-wood left, out of bounds. So that was a big bad hole there. So started off the round so good, and then not going so well all of a sudden. Next hole, hit 3-wood, went to Sunshine, was our next 9. Hit 3-wood up the middle. I had 102 yards left, hit a nice shot just left of the hole, maybe 10 feet, missed it, made par, no big deal. Next hole, I hit a 4-iron off the tee. This is Vista 2. Hit a 4-iron, didn't hit it very good, kind of chunked it, or I hit it off the toe a little bit. So I left myself a little farther back. I had like 160 or so in. And flag was on the left side. I was aiming to the right of the flag. I think that was the right plan, but I hit like a pull draw into this bunker. And so all of a sudden now I'm in the downslope back of the bunker. The pin is short side. That's just not one you're going to get up and down very often. So, hit a decent bunker shot, but it rolled out 20 feet past the hole and made a bogey. So bogey with a 9-iron. Not good. I would say that was execution. That was the right club, the right shot, the right target. I just got the face a little shut, and that's all it takes. Come on. All right, next hole. Par 3, super long, hit a 5-iron on the middle of the green. Pin was in the right side. And I 2-putted. All right. Make sure I get this going here. Okay. Sorry. Google Earth is acting up a little bit. No big deal. Hit a good shot. Good par on that hole. It's a tough hole. Next hole. Number 4. Come on, lines. Hit a 5-iron off the tee. Didn't hit it very good, but it was fine. Left myself 125 from the fairway. The pin was in the front left quadrant. I was kind of like thinking, okay, my sand wedge goes about 130, just a full sand wedge. It did cross my mind that it might spin off the front, but I decided not to try to hit a really chippy gap wedge. I hit a sand wedge, it landed right where I wanted. It spun all the way off the front of the green, almost into the hazard, right on the hazard line. Did not get that up and down. I would not call that a blown easy save. It wasn't that easy with the false front, but it was a bogey with a 9-iron or less, and that one was wrong club. So there's another one. So another stupid bogey with a wedge. Should have hit the gap wedge because I knew it was going to spin off the front, and it did. Just stupid mistake. Next hole, par 4 up the hill. I hit a good drive. I had 80 yards in. Pin was in the back. I hit a really bad wedge shot there. I thought I hit it, I was shooting to hit it 80 yards. I only hit it 70. I hit it right here. Pin was back there. I made par, but that was a bad yardage, mid-range wedge. I mean, I still made par, but it was a bad shot. It might have been a bogey. Next hole, going back down the hill, sunshine, hit good driver, hammered it pretty hard, hit it down the right side. I had 181 left to the back pin, so I was like right here to a back hole location. Now, I was in the rough. I did not want to fly it back here because, just so you know, back of this green on Sunshine 6 is all impossible up and down. So my goal was to land it like middle of the green, and I knew if I hit it, if I really got all of it, if it landed on the hill, that might kill it. It actually worked out just like that. I was trying to hit it here. Ball landed right on the slope without much spin on it because it was out of the rough. It kicked up one notch and ended up like 7 feet away for eagle. So good result there. I was not trying to hit the back tier, but I knew that it was possible if I got all of it. I just didn't want to go over. I missed that 7-footer, but made birdie, 2-putt. Next hole, I hit a 5-iron off the tee to the end of the fairway right here. And then pin was front right, which is like, that's where I aim anyway on this hole. If you watch my other videos, you know this. Pin was right here. It was a 9-iron, and it was right at it, was the target. I hit another pull draw. It landed on the slope. It rolled into the bunker. Thank goodness it didn't roll into the hazard. But it was in the bunker. Hit a pretty good bunker shot, but it rolled off the other side of the green. And I 2-putted from the fringe for bogey. So another bogey there. Approach, 9-iron left. Dead. Next hole is par 3. It was plan 171. Flag was left. My target, flag was like right here. My target was center of green, 9-iron. I did it again. Slight pull draw, landed on the slope, kicked down towards the path. Had an impossible chip, short-sided. Got it on the green, 20 feet away, 2-putted for bogey. So 9-iron and 9-iron left. So I'm seeing a trend here. I know what to practice, I think. All right, next hole, par 5. Teed it up, hit it up the right side. It's where I always aim. Was like a couple feet into the right rough, which is a good result for me, findable. I had, pin was all the way in the back. I was in the rough with the ball above my feet. Pin was basically right where it is on this Google image right there. I did not want to land it on the green out of the rough just because it's like unlikely to hold. My target was the front edge of the green to land it. I basically hit it right there. I landed it right on the front edge of the green, leaving myself a little chip from 5 yards off the green. I chipped it up to like 12 feet and missed it and made a par. So kind of a disappointing par, but some of the time I'm going to get that up and down, some of the time not. Yeah, I wouldn't call it a blown easy save just because, it's like I was like 120 feet away. It's not that easy, but, would have been nice to birdie it, but no big deal. All right, we make the turn. We go to El Dorado. El Dorado, got up on this tee box. This one just doesn't fit my eye ever. I hit a 3-wood off the toe, just a little left. It snuck over the path into the native right behind the tree. So I'm in the native behind the tree. 3-wood left. I'm gonna put that, so that's my next bad tee shot. 3-wood off the tee. I tried to hit it over the tree. I had a decent enough lie. I had like 130. I tried to hammer it over the tree. I caught the tree and rolled up into this rough right here. I had 90 yards left. Hit it to like 30 feet long, which isn't a great wedge shot. So that's two wrong yardages on the mid-range wedges so far. Just sloppy. It wasn't like I'm going to get up and down there every time, but it would be nice to hit it closer than 30 feet from 90 yards. Next hole is par 3. Pin was all the way in the back. I hit pitching wedge because I didn't want to spin it off the front with a gap wedge. I hit it just a little bit long in the fringe. It was an easy up and down. It was a putt from about 6 feet off the fringe. Putted it down there, made par. So not a blown easy save. The other one, I'm not chalking it up to a 9-iron, just so you know. Number 1 there. Because it was not a clear shot. I was in the native and had a tree in the way. Next hole, I hit 3-wood again. Missed it a little bit left, not bad. I was in this bunker. Pin was all the way back. It's kind of a tough shot. I had the lip in the way, but I hit a really, really good shot. Hit a 9-iron to about 15 feet and 2-putted for par. So good result. 3-wood a little left again. So I'll make a note of that. Now keep in mind, I'm making these notes just kind of for this video, but normally when I'm doing this in my head, I'm just kind of thinking about, okay, I'm just trying to kind of categorize a few common errors so that I know what to work on. Next hole, I hit a 6-iron off the tee. I hit it to about right here. Had like 130 or so left. Pin was in the front, hit it on the front, 20-footer. Didn't make it, but easy par. Next hole, I hit a 3-wood. This is the par 5 up the hill. I hit 3-wood, hammered it right up here. I had 260 to the back hole location here, okay? So 260 to the back hole location. And I was kind of in between 4-iron and hybrid. I decided with how fast the greens were, I didn't really want to hit it hybrid, which for me goes, if anything, is going to go a little bit long. So I thought even if I hit a 4-iron, even if it's like anywhere short, that's probably, I can get it up and down and make birdie or par at worst. I tried to kill the 4-iron though. I did chunk it. I left it like 90 yards out. It was terrible. And then I airmailed from 90 yards. So that's a mid-range wedge that was bad. Mid-range wedge from 90 yards. I airmailed the green, pins in the back. This is like crazy fast down the hill. I couldn't keep it on the green. It rolled off the green, and then I 2-putted from there for bogey. So there's a bogey on a par 5. I'm not gonna. It was also a bogey with 9-iron or less, but I'm not gonna make 2. I'm not gonna mark it twice for the same hole. So that was a bummer. Next hole, this par 3 here. Pin was in the front. I left it a little bit short. I think it was the right club. I just didn't quite catch all of it. I hit it a little in the toe. It landed like right here and then rolled down quite a ways. Pretty tough little, not tough, but just not an easy chip, you know, kind of awkward up and over the false front. I think I chipped it to like 10 feet and missed it, made bogey. So just, you know, so that was an 8-iron, so it doesn't really fit into any of this stuff. It wasn't really an easy save. It wasn't the wrong club. It was just a slight miss. I probably just needed to hit it better. What can I say? Next hole, I hit 3-wood off the tee. Let me just double check that really fast on that and see if I actually did that. I can't remember if I got that up and down or not. Let me look. Nope, I did not. Okay. Next hole, number 7, I hit, I think, a 6-iron off the tee again, hit it to like right here. Pin was on the top of this little swale. I hit it pin high, 15 feet, didn't make it, made par. Boring, no big deal. Next hole, I hit 3-wood off the tee, hit a good one. I think I had 90 yards left. Pretty boring, hit it on the green to like 10 feet, missed it, par, no big deal, nothing to talk about. Next hole, par 5, hit a really good drive here. Down the middle, off the back tee, hit it down here, and left myself like 127. It's a pretty good drive for me. So I had 127 left, sand wedge. Not the best sand wedge. Pin was kind of right there. I hit sand wedge 20 feet short of it, and 2-putted for birdie. No big deal. All right, going to Vista now. Last couple holes here. All right, went over to Vista. Vista 1, let me get back to my chart here. Vista 1, hit my tee shot straight ahead, right through, just barely into the rough. 80 yards out, 88 yards out. Pin was in the very, very front. It's kind of awkward because I was kind of had a bad lie in the rough. I knew it wasn't going to stop on the green, but I didn't want to like land it short and have it stop short. So I flew it about pin high, and it flew back. It rolled, released out there because it was out of the rough. Released out about 50 feet, and then I 3-putted from about 50 feet. So that's 2 3-putts. I mean, it's, once again, it's like not the worst 3-putt in the world, but just kind of a bummer. That is it's either a 3-putt or a bogey with 9 iron or less. I'm gonna give it a 3-putt. So we're racking these up on Tiger's thing. We'll see how that all works in a second. Next hole, par 3, pin was in the front. I hit a 9 iron that landed about 6 feet past the hole, lipped out, ended up 2 feet, made it for birdie. We'll take. Next hole, hit driver. Didn't hit a great drive here, kind of heeled it, but was just short of the green, like 40 yards from the flag, which was in the back. From 40 yards, I hit it to about 15 feet past the hole, maybe 20. It wasn't the best shot, but I definitely didn't want it rolling back to my feet there on Vista number 2, or I'm sorry, Vista number 3. So aired on the side along, hit it a little long, 2-putted for par. Next hole, par 5, big par 5, hit driver pretty good up in the right rough, just barely in the rough, not too bad. I had 220 left. Hole was like right in this front corner. I had 220. I've been sick of like hitting not enough club all day, so I hit 5 iron instead of 6 iron. It was a little long, and it ended up with the flag right in the corner. And this is like the greens were really fast at this point in the day. I was just like right in the rough right here to that pin. It was a pretty good shot from the rough back there, but there's just no chance of hitting this at the hole and stopping it from that rough. So I had to kind of bail it over here. There was no snow there, luckily, but chipped it over here and used this slope to kind of keep it on the tier, kind of rolled down into there. I had a 15-footer that was actually pretty scary with how fast that green was at that time of day. 2-putted for par. So would have been nice to make birdie, but kind of a tough hole location. And then the last hole for us was this one. Pin was right in the back third right there. I hit a 5 iron to like 30 feet and 2-putted it for par. So we'll go back to the data here in 1 second, but that was the round, and I'll go over the results. All right, so I just went through the whole round. Okay, couple things. So on Tiger's things, this is 27 holes. I would say 2 or less of these mistakes would probably result in a win. I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 mistakes in the Tiger 5. If I had only 7 of those 9, I would have finished at even par and would have been 1 shot from winning the tournament. Down here on my chart, I've got tee shots. I hit my driver really good. There was no errors on the driver. Driver was in play. I hit 3 3-woods left, 1 out of bounds and 2 kind of trouble, 1 in the native and 1 in a bunker. So that's one thing, one key takeaway. I need to work on my 3-wood face control because they were all just a little bit closed. On my approaches, I had 2 or 3 where I had the wrong club, not enough club, and then the directional miss was left. I had 3 9 irons left, all short side, all resulted in bogeys. So it just so happened they were all 9 irons. I'm gonna say 9 iron face control. Now, if these were different irons, I mean, if you can practice an 8 or a 9 or a pitching wedge, they're all fairly similar. But I need to get that left shot out of there. So more open, more square face. Mid-range wedges, I counted up 4 that I wasn't really happy with the distance control, in that, say, 80 to 120 yard range. 4 of those, so mid-range wedges. Now, as far as short game goes, I didn't get a lot of shots up and down, but honestly, I got the easy ones up and down, and all the ones that I didn't get up and down were like short-sided, awkward, like, you know, where you have to get really cute in order to get it up and down. So I'm not really worried about those. My percentage up and down wasn't that great, but they were all, I would say, difficult shots, and you're not going to get those up and down very often anyway. And then putting, I had a couple 3-putts, 2 of them, and they were just kind of poor speed control. Omni's greens were faster than I'm used to, faster than I expected. So I was hitting them a little too hard. I'm not going to really worry too much about that. Over the last little bit, I have not been 3-putting very often. So I'm not gonna sweat that. So if I was to make a practice plan based on this recap, it would be, you know, I don't have unlimited time, but it would be, need to practice my 3-woods off the tee and make sure they're not going left. I have to practice my just stock 8-9 irons, make sure they're not going left as well, and then dial in my mid-range 80, 90, 100, 110 yard wedges. Those were actually working really, really well early in the year for me. I practiced those a lot indoors in my garage here. Have not been doing that, and kind of shows in this tournament. So that would be my game plan for the next event. Work on those 3 things. That's all pretty manageable. And then on the course, I guess I had a couple of judgment errors with club selection. I tend to talk myself into not enough club and trying to kill it, so I would just be paying attention to that when I'm on the course. So hopefully that makes sense. Gives you a method to recap. I went through and put it all into my strokes gained. I use Decade, so just to give you a quick synopsis or a quick summary of that. Strokes gained off the tee. If you summarize it all, I have 2 screens here because it was 27 holes. I'll give you the numbers of these rounds of golf. I enter this in with GPS, and then that's another way of doing it. So off the tee, in strokes gained, I was plus 1.75, so that's good relative to a tour player. Now, granted, we're at altitude. That was with 1 out of bounds. But generally speaking, tee shots were good, except for those couple 3-woods. Strokes gained approaches. I lost 3 shots on approaches. I lost 4.5 shots around the green short game. Now, you know, when you enter this kind of stuff into GPS types of things, it doesn't know whether the shot really was easy or hard. So even though it's a pretty bad number, like, I don't feel like any of those were very easy up and down. So like I said, I have to read into that a little bit more. My short game doesn't necessarily, it's not that bad. It's just I put myself in tough up and down situations, which is more the approach. So lost 3 shots on the approach and lost about 2 shots, 2.5 shots putting because of those couple of 3 putts. And I didn't really make anything. I missed 1 putt inside of 6 feet is all. So I was pretty solid from like 5 feet and in. Didn't make a whole lot of putts from 7 to 15 feet. And, you know, had 2-3 putts from 50 feet. Everything else was just pretty meh, average, nothing special. So anyhow, hopefully that all makes sense, and I look forward to hearing any feedback you might have on this.